Thank you, boys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, and lovely little catch-up right there. You saw the highlight reels. You saw the standings and how things are shaping up here in the NA West. And this is the perfect bus you can ask for coming into your second game, if you ask me.
50-50 right down the middle. It also means, though, that anyone down below, right under the bus, all these middle POIs and on the edges of the map, they get a fast drop too, right? Yep. Viking, especially the splits, kind of get affected depending on the bus.
Yeah, when you get to touchdown quick, you get to your looting ASAP. But we like to see that fair share indeed here as the stretch goes on. Look at how many players are now deciding to go to Pleasant Park. Previous, we saw 4 teams. Now, only 2 teams. So some adjusting and flexing has gone on to change up some play style here. So that's going to be very interesting. Looking over at Happy Hamlet, we see a couple players there as well. And the block tends to have a ton of guys right now.
Yep, you always talk about scouting when you drop in. Looks like Thai Tanks with advantage. They're landing on the side together to already pinch on their enemies. Looks like Lozman already was so low on a beam, either coming in or on an early game engagement. Thomas.
Yeah, if I had to guess, he definitely got hit materials here as he has nothing to really kind of getting pinched already. So he's doubling back to his boys here, and he's just trying to bait him out. Can he get this player to step out so that he can hit the shot? Blix and Verdi taking their time, playing the patient game here.
Yep, while everyone's focused on Thomas, it looks like 2 of his teammates, Wavy Jacob and Thai Tanks, could hit these guys if they're not careful enough and overpeak on the roof. With this block in particular, controlling that middle Pantheon building is the biggest way to kind of gain an advantage and a say on how people move around the rest of the block. Verdi and Blix now have an insane advantage, although at the same time, down a player, they can still kind of control and get out of the situation in a very good way. Wavy Jacob dropping down to about 30 HP in this engagement as well.
Yeah, anything can still happen here. The double splash goes on right there to give Wavy Jacob a little bit of shield, or health, I should say, and at least Tomas has a little bit more shield to play with as well. Now looking for the proper angle here, they're going to work around. They did leave, however, their teammate behind, so he's still hiding in that last structure. Actually spotted out as well, so Blix finally makes a move to pick up that reboot card there, and that's why he comes down here. Can he land a couple shots? Those are going to be huge as he rips apart the shield. So now no more shield, and remember, they can't really loot anymore. They found what they could find from, like you said, this middle building. There's probably nothing else here, so you know, heals, that's it.
Yep, and it's traps and contingencies one on top of each other. We have people getting baited from high ground, Thomas especially, getting shots from up top. As you mentioned, the reboot card also being a big thing used. Looks like a launch pad was actually blocked. Not sure if it's going to be utilized again. Might be able to track him going over there. Thomas now on the side of a wood wall, has those Sir edits using them. Really nice to see exactly where Blix is looking. Comes down the side. He's not taking into account. Now Jacob on the top side. Nice big tack shot on Verdi, who goes down. Not only do they get this entire POI to themselves, it is so close to the next zone, which is right around the Umbrella/Lazy Lagoon section of the map. They have all the time in the world to loot up and mat up for the mid portion of the game.
Baiting out the card there, just playing the slow game. And that's why they kind of fall down, because Blix went down trying to be the good teammate. And that's right there is the map over to the right-hand side. You see that everyone's going to have to come this way. We really haven't seen too many zones end on this side of the map, so interesting to see how that will play out as this game goes on.
One thing to point out, it's so sparsely kind of diverse as to who's in zone at the moment. Yep. The snow zone is the biggest place as to where mid-game fights kind of start to interlap, because everyone just has a few lanes to get in, right? People like to avoid toggle time getting in so they don't get delayed. They're not able to sprint once that starts to play out. Right now in Gotham as well, Frosty will end up rotating through here, but there's a fight going on already. If this does not finish up in time, they risk more shields coming into their drop spot.
There it is. One of those things about Gotham is that you can redeploy at any given time. Really something to worry about here, unless it's intentional. But regardless of what, Hellback Dog and Booby here, J Roses are looking to set up the push here, and that was nice. That was really nice, locating the wall. So he's going to go for it. He actually snatches that wall, and that's his now. He's going to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to leave you guys here. Leave him a little nervous, work his way around, and just kind of waiting for his team. This is a hard place. easy fighting indoors. Finding angles is pretty hard. Can all be suspect to a trap, right, of any person per se. So you have to be careful fighting indoors specifically.
Yep, and the big thing as well, it's so hard to get for those big efficient wood piles, brick piles, and metal piles. You saw it on Held Back Dog. You only had 2 over here. He's only looking from a top-down angle, controlling both lanes of this building, one a little bit higher than the other. That floor break there gives him so much Held Back. Held Back Dog placed. It's a 3v1 now, are both on the low ground repositioned.
Exactly what I talk about, being able to put those traps down so that garage place suddenly being, you know, your worst nightmare because a trap goes down. They're forced to the side, easily isolated and taken out right there. Cold Wars is going to run away and get away from Brains here. We got Pelican, all 3 of them getting launched on well by Scruples, Tfue, and Joystick here. How are they going to fare? The Pelican trio sticking together here as one. You know what they say, birds flock together. So they're rocking out, they're sticking in the 1x1 boxes, and the pressure is on right there. What a great shot, though, as they are playing good defense here.
Yep, when you're on defense, you have the potential for big shots, but the people trying to get into your box, they have that big potential for follow-up as well. Granted, Tfue goes down and Scruples. Still on the offensive, you have so much chance to just run away with the actual offensive trio game.
Oh my God.
Now off of Joystick.
For them, Pelicans shot the shield. Whole meal right here. All 3 of one hit from one of the Pelicans hit the shield bubble. All of the exchanges off that he needed to, and that's going to be a big clutch for them. Unfortunately, right there, the Bird gang, the Bird team is going to fall.
Yeah, they were in their element all the way up top on Kevin the Cube. He's moving around the map right now.
Yeah.
The big thing about this too, all that loot's up there. When they reboot, if they can, they get back. They have an easy rotation gliding in to the rest of the map. Looks like the zone is by the Cube as well. Tuning in with Harryon, Tristan, and Jammies now. We saw them have an unfortunate push early on, and you know, they kind of changed it into almost a victory for themselves. But hey, biting off more than you can chew. Very dangerous to do, depending on exactly where you are on the map. Closest zone now have a trio coming in from the back. Can they see it coming? Can they hear anything? Or will the sneakiness / ambiance of the zone in front of them, the enticement of, you know, there's a big rift, we just have to control it, we can get out. Will that stop or kind of hide Trigger Vane Triggy, and the fake Energy Edgy from coming through?
Yeah, this could spell disasters. Jammies is just running around without a care in the world, blocking out any of his angles, right? You don't really expect anyone to come out this late. So if he does manage to expose himself for too long, this trio is gonna pounce. They're gonna take this opportunity, especially if they're wounded. And there it is, the heavy snipe followed by the AR comes up. The snipe was a fail, but the hits were a success. And no, Triggy should have known better. You guys just fired at him. Of course he's gonna be checking out his angles here. And there he goes. Vane falls, and now Jammies is holding it down on his own. Backup has come, and this is going to be an easy cleanup for this trio. They are just collapsing as a squad. The wall's theirs. Everything they need is just going to be able to just kind of push this through, clean it up, and get the mats. You know, he was just trying to get some mats.
Yep, a reverse situation. Reverse situation from the last game, 100%. Now they have the momentum to boost off of. When you're in positions like this with an ambush, information is key. Not having the right information or not having too much of it can prove fatal, like what just happened with this trio.
Yeah, they definitely shot in the miss was the biggest mistake there. Outside of course, how they just let their guard down. But moving on with one of our top teams in the running right now, Tomas, Wavy Jacob, Tide Tanks, moving around this area here, where previous we had platforms and geysers, now just a lonely shell of the rotations it used to, used to be.
Yeah, at the moment, they have to kind of move through a lot of refarmable wood and brick. We don't usually get to see that from the zones that are ahead of us. It's usually just a lot of positional advantages going on, people searching for the right spots to be in, not really taking into account what type of mats are there, right? We saw that once a little bit in the yonder zone in the snow side, but this is one of the few spots on the map where there's so many densely packed trees, you can make bases out of wood and stay up. But what's the risk with running just a wood base?
Yeah, so the problem with the wood is you can see right through it outside of the health being so weak, so the easy kind of, I guess, you know, expose right there, wood, right? You can't block out explodes. You need metal to do that. And it's Gen G, Madison, Keofish, and RH Inks who says, you know, if they don't know better to build with, like, better mats at this point, let's go push that. Let's go, you know, 2 pickaxe a wall and take it.
Yep, on East Animal Aspect used to do that in duos all the time. That was one of the things they kind of defined. You see someone in wood, it's an easy push. It kind of shows your lack of confidence. Even if that trio is confident, you know, Sundown mentions you don't want to get exploded, build in metal, right? If you don't have metal or hard mats, even if you are confident, break-ins come in just like this. Titag's taking explode to the face.
Titag's getting hit by not only explode, but a shotgun from behind as he is now in a very, very desperate situation. All of his teammates are down. Makes the edit and gets chunked alive right there by Keofish, who meets him with a big tactical shot. And suddenly, the last time we checked in with them, they were winning a fight. We check in again, and they're winning another fight. Kudos to Madison, Keofish, and RH Inks. Names on the West Division.
Yup, but it's all about the progress as well. We tuned in game 1. They had 3 points, meaning they did win an earlier mid-game fight.
That's right.
They did lose out, though, on that end-game type of mid-rotation on the half-and-half zone. That's the next step they need to work on. Riverson in a very good position for it, elevated with the heavy sniper. He can kind of guide, kind of orchestrate the whole lobby from his position.
That's right, and there's a couple players out there. Edgy, Scented, Rex are the ones kind of poised up in the distance here. Lots of players over on the divot as well, or the depot, so got to be careful with that rotation for whatever comes next, because it's going north, moving ahead of the zone here. They're actually way ahead of him, so he's got quite the catch-up to make here. This should be a relatively easy rotation as he's moving through the shell of what was the players that they probably fought. Now it's Sam, Aiden, and Sean who's eating explodes right now. One of those are going to connect. You saw the shield pop right there. Is it enough to tell this trio to start the pressure? Yes, it is. As Sam falls, the shots are piercing through, and the nice first shot accuracy is going to be able to clean that one up. We'll see if they are able to get some of that gear. I think they're just going to send Riverson. Yeah, Riverson's like the lone ace right here.
Yep, the big thing at the moment, I think they did clean up all the elims. Still a risk to send Riverson in. He had all the shockwaves available on his body. If he went down, that could have, you know, although they still have 2 people up, you have no more rotation anymore. Yeah.
So that could have been very risky, but they are going to be able to reap the rewards here. There's so much gear now. Now that they've taken out, you know, a number of players in this area, they have 4 eliminations. And let's just talk about it. It's the perfect distance for explodes. If you are 60 to 70 meters away and they start exploding you, you have to change your distance back up or move forwards. If you stay in that same spot, you're going to fall victim. And that's what happened to Sean and Aiden as they basically stood defenseless there and just ate all the explodes, and down they go. But there's a team nearby, so Cease is not by himself anymore here. It's probably exactly the people we saw on the depot. We have Pizzas, Snyrot, and Maximo.
Yep, and these guys might be able to hold Cease back. At the same time, these guys need to start getting and running. This is not the only trio they have to worry about. Look at how many people are already established, so close to them in the zone. Getting in, granted it is on a hill, is going to prove very hard to base up, even with hard mats. When metal first gets placed, only about 110 blockage over there. We see a nice pick coming up from Cease. He sees chunk splashes, might be able to go for them. At the same time, there's other trios rotating in from that spot. A nice intense mid-game rotation. Hard mats already coming through the switch to brick and metal from the point man over there. Looks like that's Elevate already up in the base. Now everyone's starting to base up. We have the Synergy boys on very high ground over there. Pressure plant's not going to be completely in use as the zone closes in, but there's always an option for the moving zone to hit up those vents.
And I really appreciate the sharing of the 1x1 here to conserve material. Riverson also deciding, you know what, I don't need to sacrifice too much. I'm just going to stay in this low-level area. And that is just how they're going to wait this zone out. No reason to overexpend at this point, as they've been having so much success in their PvP situations. It's only wave 3 right now. Great heavy snipe attempt right there is not going to find its home or its mark right there. But Riverson is still feeling it. He's hyper aggro right now, bringing a lot of attention to them right now.
Look at how careful everyone's playing. This is what happens, though. Sides of the zone, any type of movement is going to be watched at every single moment of the game. But as a result, so many mats are available for that end game. See, it's now taking shots. Look how free it is. They're just looking one direction at the moment. Based off the map, they can see half the lobby and influence so many people away from them to give them room on this, I think, ultimate height at the moment in their position to kind of control what they want to control, what they want to actually play their end game like moving forward in the game.
Yeah, and if they want to get away from players or find a little moment of breathing, they have to get far north right now as JDW gets taken out from the RBK crew here. And as the server kind of loads up, you can only imagine that the Splodes are going to be breaking apart all of the builds there as the congestion is so real. Remember, when Splodes come in, it exposes those teams to fight one another because the explosions will drop them on other layers. So it does so much more than just pressure a team. It forces fights.
And it's not just in that block. You do fight each other, but because of that, you'll let other trios look at the complete right side of the map. Everyone's gone seeing that fight actually take place. And Cease, I think they might have tunnel vision on that. They might have had a free rotation going in, have to use a shockwave, probably more efficient anyways, and now they can catch up. Oh no, Elevate.
Unfortunate for Elevate, who hits a tree on the freebie rotation right there from the shockwave. And Synergy Legend, lucky for them, did not realize that that was what happened there. But Taki may have gotten word. They were just above them. But no, it's okay. Elevate's going to be able to get revived here and picked up. Riverson already using his heals as well, one of the two slurp juices to try and get his health starting to tick and roll here. And lucky for them, they also have bandages, so that's going to play a big part here in bouncing them back into this game.
They've kind of sent a flare to the whole server, though, using a campfire this late, especially with trios, watching while in the zone. The timing of that knock could have not been worse. They have to now use a launch pad, which is going to be a full high launch pad. Synergy reusing it, though, which is very good for them as there's more people to aim in the air, makes it so that it's less likely you get hit. They finally find a way in. They've used so many of their mat resources, though, on actually building a base to get that revive off. Cease goes straight back down. Another almost mid to end game fight. Looks like everyone's split. Riverson being the only person up. The 100 Thieves portion of this trio is completely eliminated, as is Riverson's shield.
Yeah, Cease just not having the time of his life right now. Unfortunately, falling off that tree, followed by landing in on opponents. With traps, so just like that, he gets longer. Things could have been different, but Riverson, 21 teams remain.
All the power items of the trio. The big problem at the moment, it seems like some on their bodies. There's a big one. He can find the way into the next zone.
That's right, he does it. His loadout, all he can do is really just pray now, because if he drops anything, and that's the problem, right? There's so much good options. There's like shield bubbles there. There's take the health. You have the shockwaves. You want it all, but you can't really carry it. So he is going to opt into the more offensive lean loadout, keeping the heavy sniper, which is going to be huge, which means he is going to be able to box push, playing for those points, which I think is more important, right? Play for the single elim. If you can get it, those points can come in, and really stack up for later in the game.
Yeah, let's talk about how he can get these points in this moment. With a trio up, he has the flexibility of the heavy sniper. He'll have more items available across everyone, maybe a launch to catch up with.
That's right.
But he can make up for that with those shield bubbles. There are 4 of them, I think, on the ground, full stacked. He can sit back, go for heavy snipes, then throw the shield bubbles. Maybe that's the game plan to get in with protection, saving
for himself and try and work off of that in the scene here. Okay, so make a small path. So great minds think alike. All right, so it was the best play.
One error, though, in that, one thing people don't realize with shield bubbles, he could have got a little bit more use stepping out and throwing the other bubble a little bit further away. Shield bubble on shield bubble action.
Does limit him just a bit here. He tries to shockwave out and falls, and all that fall damage, and out he goes. He probably, honestly, took the rest of the players with him for all we know, because everyone fell at that point, but it doesn't matter, as we are jumping back with another trio here. Ascented, Edgy, and Rex here, they have to move it. They're getting to the zone. They're now in the safety here. That was crazy.
Yep, thankfully, this trio is all alive. Just keep saying steady. Scented. Let's not fool around anymore. No full topped off on shield in the moving circles. Big uphill battle here for these guys on this mid ground there, and the launch pad actually gets blocked. I think Scented gets left behind.
This is Gen G, and RHX's players are just getting dropped, and there are so many enemies down there. He comes right back up.
The ripple effect
wearing
of
the same
server.
Skins.
Yeah,
can be so scary sometimes.
Absolutely insane. I'm not even sure how they figured out who was who. It did cost them a lot. Looks like Bugha now is at 8 HP completely. They do just have 2 elims apiece. The placement points just came in. We go and change over to Mac and 1X from KNG. We'll see exactly what he's doing. A very kind of risky strat on timing. He's kind of looking back immediately with his minigun and actually dropping in the zone, looking for elims on people all the way in the back. Very unexpected. No one can see that coming. People voluntarily giving up their position, but he catches up with that shockwave. Takes 50 HP damage, though. Very hard to get back at this moment. He's going to need a siphon in this endgame.
He just got really greedy. Seeing that many players, sometimes you just have to risk it all for the points, right? He jumps in, he gets into the thick of it. Maximo's going to go down here, and he still doesn't have too much, but he still has a couple of shockwaves, which, again, he's using the minigun shockwave combo to just challenge the high ground, make it hard for them. We talk about the best high ground players dictate the pace. They're dictating the pace right now, and the high ground is theirs as he needs some backup with this squad right now.
Yep, third time is the charm. He gets up, one more shockwave left just for insurance in case another person comes in. He actually goes up even higher. Looks like he might have been getting broken down. Goes for a nice tack shotgun down on the way down. Not possible. The last trio now left alive. Mackin down to 18 HP on the backside of a mountain. Zone coming up. Needs a siphon over here. Not possible. He goes down, and I think RHX was at the bottom. Bugha and Mongral now on height. I believe it's Edgy and Rex. They're going to be moving up. No, that many elims on them right now. The placement potential is there. There could be shockwaves and a lot of other action possible in this endgame.
And that's right. That's why the minigun pressure is real here. This is the trio that set the bar with the minigun endgames, and this is how they like to do it. They put the pressure down, they apply it hard, and they make sure you stay stuck to the back zone. And they are just making sure they take a textbook victory in the final moments there, Shayo. Well played.
Absolutely well played. Bugha going and always popping off, I guess, in the West region now, too. Amazing game from the second portion of the West Games. Sundown.